Brad, welcome to Real Vision.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here. We've been trying to get you on for some time. So much to talk about. Just for those who don't already know, Brad is the host of the Magic Internet Money podcast and also of Xsquared Ventures.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad you guys could join me in my new place next to Raoul in the Cayman Islands. How do you like the... Oh, they didn't put the pool table in yet. Maybe I'll go to a different room. Hold on. I'll go to the book room. Okay, now I'm in the book room.
I was hoping the pool table would be installed during this conversation.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed. I don't have a pool table or a dog, so I'm going to switch to the other room here.
Those dogs are some of our most popular guests on Real Vision. People love the dogs. People love Raoul's dogs.
Now, for the longest time, I thought that was a fake background.
Yeah.
And then I saw the dog move. I was like, it's real.
Yeah, lots of people think that he films those at a club somewhere in Grand Cayman, but that's actually his house.
Adds to the mystery.
Yeah, pretty good life there. I want to be Raoul in a pretty next life.
Well, definitely. Thanks for bringing me on as a Bitcoiner, Bitcoin only proponent. I'm glad to see that you guys are taking that initiative to educate the Real Vision viewers and listeners a little bit more about the Bitcoin perspective. Although you guys were one of the first macro news sort of media companies that were talking about Bitcoin before everybody else. So it's kind of hopefully going to come back full circle where more Bitcoin content shows up on the platform. So thanks for having me on, and I appreciate the conversations we had on Clubhouse and on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, well, let's jump in and talk right about it, because I think this is such an important narrative right now in the Bitcoin digital asset space. Let's talk a little bit about what that perspective is. I've been calling it the Great Crypto Schism, which is the contrast between Bitcoin and Bitcoiners and everything else. Tell us a little bit about your journey into the space, your journey into Bitcoin, and your feelings about this, I think, absolutely critical issue.
Sure, Ash. Well, so I grew up on the east coast of Canada in poverty. So we were on welfare, and I was living in government housing and stuff like that. I moved around 20 times and went to 8 different schools. And I was in the Mormon religion at 8 years old up until I was a teenager. So that was kind of my early worldview was everything's a scam, and you can't, coffee is bad, and black pop, you can't drink that, and chocolate's no good. So I had this really kind of strange worldview of, I guess, what you should and shouldn't do. And I was instilled with a different moral compass than most people. And when I was, going into college, I had the choice whether I was to go on a mission or to go be a normal person and go to college and watch TV and stuff. And I said, I'm going to go do that. And so I went to Toronto, and, I started a business selling hacky sacks to try to pay my way through college, importing hacky sacks from Pakistan and selling them to pay my way through college. And then I wrote a screenplay, and because I was in a creative writing course in school, and I really wanted to make this movie. So I don't have a business background. So my entry into the finance world or money or entrepreneurship was Googling, how do I make money online? And so that was literally how I got my lesson in entrepreneurship. So then I got scammed quite a bit. And eventually I did start a business, and probably was 22, 23. I started making 6 figures a month with my bootstrapped game company. And that company ended up
a month.
Yeah, I went from basically being completely poor and hoping I can get a credit card for $2,000 that I can then change my name and leave behind, desperate for money, to making 6 figures a month. And it was just mind blowing, complete mind shift for me. And I just piled most of that money back into the business and started learning everything I could possibly about entrepreneurship and managing money. Right. Because it was the first time I had some money. And then
education.
Yeah, it was great. I got to fill out all kinds of surveys and taste all kinds of health pills and stuff. It was it's not like anybody else's business school experience. But at the same time, it was around 2008. So it was when the financial collapse was happening that I was having success. And I guess it was because people were distracted by entertainment, and the video game sort of industry picked up a lot, actually, movies and video games. People wanted to seek entertainment. And I was in that industry, and we eventually went on to make multiple seven figures with that business. And it was just like me and two other dudes in our basement kind of a thing. So we didn't have really much overhead.
Wow.
It was great. Yeah. I ended up going on and making the movie, which is what I originally got into the whole thing for, because I wanted to make the film. So I wrote, produced, and directed this film. But the business was
what's it called, by the way?
Oh, it's called The Legend of the Psychotic Forest Ranger. It's a cheesy 80s horror movie.
This just keeps getting better.
It's rated like 1 star on IMDb. Like,
but it got made. You got to do it.
Yeah, it got made. I got it done. Yeah. So I stuck to it. So I spent some money on that. I built a house, and then I started looking into investing. And it was people like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and a lot of doom and gloom newsletters that were like, everything's going to collapse. The world's ending. Get some chickens, get some silver, get some gold. That was kind of like, you know, my entry into the financial education media sector.
I call that genre of newsletters shotgun shells and Kruger end.
Yeah, apocalypse porn. You know, everything's going to shit. The world's going to zero. Here's the stocks you should buy. Like, okay, the stocks are going to go to zero, aren't they? Why are you selling me stocks? So that's, I guess, you know, I don't know why I'm telling you all this craziness about my journey.
This is great.
But this just builds my mental picture of, you know, how I view the world and crypto versus Bitcoin and everything.
Right.
So I was going from thinking growing up that if you drank alcohol, you should go to jail, to following Ron Paul and seeing the, you know, the anti-war message that Ron Paul was spreading and talking about the Federal Reserve and the problems that we have with the money system. And my mind was just blown. Like, I think I became a different person when I started watching the Ron Paul videos. I realized that the scam starts at the core of something that affects us all, which is money. And they control the money, and they use it to keep you in debt and to devalue your savings. Because this is the first time I had some money in my life, any serious money that I needed to look at what to do with it. Right. And I was trying to figure out, what should I do? Should I buy stocks? Should I buy gold? Should I keep investing in my business? And that was kind of the start of my, I guess, more normal financial education. I was learning about the value of money and why gold is more valuable than dollars.
That's quite a journey. And so tell us when you first discovered Bitcoin, what that moment was like.
Well, because I was in the video game business and I had a social game where we were making most of our revenue off of a virtual currency. It was an economy game where I had a million players. There was about 100,000 active players. We had 1 million downloads. So I had 100,000 people playing with this virtual currency, and I'm just some like ex-Mormon like guy that wants to make a movie. So I ended up mismanaging my economy, and I hyperinflated my game currency. Oh. So and it was actually somebody discovered a bug in the code, and they minted 1 trillion coins, and it destroyed the value of the currency. So I saw firsthand from being a virtual central banker how too much excessive money printing is not good for your economy.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
So it was that, you know, the experience with the game. Plus, I'm an early technology adopter. I love to try new things. I was trying this Arcos device back in like 2002, which was like, it was like the predecessor. It was this French company, it was a predecessor to the iPhone, or had this modular thing where you could plug in a camera or take it off, plug in a microphone.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm always trying new stuff. So when I saw Bitcoin in 2011, it was just an instant, like, this is amazing. I need to get this. This is like going to be pretty huge because it's the evolution of gold. It's the evolution of money. It makes perfect sense that this is going to become eventually $10,000. So that was where my mind was at the time. I was like, one day this might be $10,000.
Which seemed impossible at the time. That was a sort of an extravagant notion.
Yes.
Bitcoin could trade at 10K.
Yeah. At the time it was like $10. When I first heard about Bitcoin, it was $10.
Wow.
Actually, when I first heard about it, it was $5, and then it took me 2 weeks to get my account set up and get the video cards ordered because I was mining in my basement with my video cards. By the time I got Bitcoin, it was $10. And then within 2 months, that summer, it went to $30. And I sold half my Bitcoin thinking I'm a genius. I just made a 3x. I just made a 2 or 3x. Like, that's amazing.
I bet you often do the calculation of how much that would be worth today.
I don't really ever do it because I'm not one of those people that like sold all my Bitcoin. Like, I kept enough that like it's changed my life, and I still want to evangelize it. I'm not like salty about it. But if I had sold it all, I'm pretty sure I'd be pretty pissed off about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I
did a service, for a currency to be valuable, you got to have the whales distribute to the new entrants. So I just look at it like I was helping the Gini coefficient of Bitcoin by selling it off so early.
Eliminating the inequality in the space.
Yeah, I grew up understanding that, like, what concentration of wealth does to people. So I was like, I don't need all this wealth. Give it away to somebody else. That's what I rationalized myself.
Hey, if you like this clip, be sure to check out the full interview and more only on realvision.com/crypto. It's 100% free. Sign up now.